Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Last Stand Gamers, and welcome back to another exciting video. In today's video, we're taking a look at our Nomad server, and we're seeing what the players have been up to. Now, the players have been extremely busy surviving this wasteland by building large mobile bases. Large mobile bases are quite scary because all your eggs are in one very mobile basket, and it makes them a bit more vulnerable than sticking them underground in a base. So here in front of us we have BBC's Rover, and we're going to take a look around it and see what they've had time to build. Now, the end event for this server is almost very close. Well, it's almost a day away here. So these players have been in a few little punch-ups. You can see that there's still things smoking going on here. They've got a blimp-like grid down here as well. That's really cool. It's got these little mobile seats with some dummies on there as well. But moving on, we're over at BBC's second fob. So this is like another mobile base that they've got going here. This one has connector pads on top for aircraft, and you can see it's just been in a bit of a skirmish the other day. So the aircraft are missing from this side. Around the back, they've got a mobile loading ramp and a cool little AA vehicle that looks like it's hit the back. Now, some of these vehicles are event vehicles that are attacking this mobile base, so there is some construction to be done here. But there's the loading dock on the inside. They've got a nice 3D printer by the look of it on top, and some beautiful fighters here as well. So that 3D printer can repair some of these fighters off. They've got welding arms dangling off the side. It's truly a utilitarian FOB, this ship. Looks like there's a little cockpit located to the left, but this thing is going to need recovering by the look of it. Moving on to Nod's base now. It looks like Nod have got themselves two rovers, one large mobile base and one vehicle to the side. This in fact could be another faction who have decided to station up here with Nod by the look of it. So they've got a 3D printing device on the back there, a rotary printer, so they can print off small ships or even large ships in this case here. Now, coming to the back of this large Nod rover, there looks like there's some sort of hangar bay access. You can see the thrusters there acting as boosters, and there's a ship, but they've also got these drones located on the roof. Now, what these can do is these can be launched with AI control and engage into the battle. I don't believe there's a cockpit in the inside. It looks like there's one on the side just to shuffle it about, but having some backup from AI drones can really turn the tide of a battle, and if you haven't started doing it in Space Engineers, I really recommend you do. Now, coming down the side, you can see we've got some armaments. We've got the back door, and what's going to be in here? So it looks like a loading bay of some kind. So there's just one utility ship in here by the look of it. The rest is empty, perhaps unloaded before or after the battle. That looks like it's happened outside. Going deeper into the design, we can see the heart of this ship. There's utilities and refineries, and it's just a giant mobile base pretty much. Towards the front here, you can see we've got some serious firepower, and we've got some axle reinforcement. With these front wheels, it looks like there is a welder tucked back here as well. I don't think there's a welder on every axle, but this is a design that we've seen quite a bit of, where the axles are reinforced with armoured blast door blocks for added protection. This helps when they're going over the rough terrain, and it smacks the bottom of the axle and it stops it from breaking off. Anyway, over to RAB. RAB have got, well, they've been quite busy. They've got this beautiful carrier. This almost looks like an aircraft carrier on wheels. You can see we've got these cool little wind turbines going down the side when the vehicle is parked stationary to help generate the power, as well as various Gatling gun turrets. Towards the front here, we have got a cockpit to the left and a more fancy cockpit to the right, including some nice orange ambient mood lighting. RAB always love to do a bit of ambience within their designs. Up there's a large welding type crane, and over on this side we've got tracked wheels. Interesting, because the other side doesn't seem to have tracked. Does the other side? No, it doesn't have tracked. So one side is tracked and one not. Maybe it's a tactical decision, maybe it's just an error with the mod. Over this side, we've got identical weapon systems. We've got almost like a tower, and then we come up to the fighter deck. Now, on the fighter deck, we have the classic RAB design. We've seen this one before with a nice engine. I love them engine houses. Look how beautiful they look. It's just a lovely fighter overall. And then coming to the back, we've got a second one there on the left, and we've got a design on the right here that looks like it has received some battle damage, or maybe it's being welded up, but somehow it's managed to make it back to base. At the back here, we've got these what look to be blast receptors for the aircraft to take off, but this is actually a ramp. And inside here, this gives you a bit of an idea of the scale. We have another larger rover. It's almost like a Russian doll, a rover inside a rover. So there's a main combat rover there, and then you've got some more classic utility, a classic RAB attack rover there on the right, and then there's one on the left with this cool turret design. I think we've seen that in a season before, but let's have a little bit of a look inside. Is this an APC of some kind? So you've got weapons rack, medical. Oh yes, look at that. I love a bit of detailing like that on the inside of a rover. It just really brings it to life, and with all these additional blocks that we've got now, interiors really come alive. So we've got storage on that side, more storage over on that side, and taking a look up through the deck, looks like that is pretty much it. Some solar there on the roof, but that's beautiful. An absolutely lovely carrier. It really fits into that nomadic style. Coming to the back here, it looks like there's a few wrecks, and there's another design of RAB fighter here, one I haven't seen before, I don't think. This one's got like a glass cockpit with a cockpit inside there, and perhaps that's a rotating up cockpit. I'm not too sure, but these wreckages here look like they're going to need to be broken down and salvaged. That's probably the next job when they log back on. Now, moving quickly over here, we have Cajuns rover. Now, this rover here is still in the early stages of construction. It's got a very Cajun-esque feel to it. You can see by these turrets design. I don't know how certain players manage to have a style that feels so particular to them. If you know what I mean, it's very cool. It's very peculiar. But at the same time, this whole rover actually has a pivoting axis for the trailer. So let's go and have a little bit of a look at this here. So if we dive and cut through the armor, we'll actually notice there's a rotor hidden inside there. So very unique, very cool Cajun. I wonder if this will be ready for a quick battle at the end of the season. Now moving on, we have STF. So STF here are parked up. They've got their smaller rover here in front and their main rover at the back. It's a good example of what you could have with a much smaller faction and still be quite mobile. So there's a few weapons turrets, there's a few utility rovers on the top. We'll have a look at them in a minute. Let's have a quick dive inside. So there's quite a lot of spacing between the refineries and the assemblers in the center. I don't know if that's going to work as blast protection from rockets that hit to the side. We've got a 6-wheel design, and then we've got the little battle rover at the front here, and that's critical to have something that you can take out and not risk battling with your main base every time, because we all have a bit of equipment and gear fear within Space Engineers. So there's a little welder attached to this point, but behind it, there's this unusual looking combat grid. Look at that skeleton-like design. You don't see things often like that. It's got the atmospheric thrusters tucked in there, a little bit of a survival kit there on the side, and then it's got cannons protruding from the bottom, as well as a central one, and double cameras, just for a bit of redundancy in case one of them gets taken out. I'm not too sure if that's a drone or an actual ship. And then over here, we've got another skeletonized design. I really like this vibe. It's quite cool being able to see into the ship. Not particularly great for protection, though, but it doesn't matter because this is just a utility ship. So very nice work there indeed. Let's continue on. Now, moving on to our next design, we are over at Ark. And Ark look like they're somewhere where they've just logged off straight after a battle, because there is some event vehicles you can see parked up here, and that's not a particularly good idea, but staying parked out here near these event vehicles, because people might end up salvaging Ark, thinking they're part of the event or this rover has been sacrificed. But you can see there's been some serious battling going on here. Lots of destruction, lots of carnage for our main protagonist over here. Look at that. That one's been absolutely wrecked. The turret's been ripped off the top. Wheels are missing at the back. So Ark really need to get out of here, especially before anyone else comes across here to try and salvage the various components, if there really is anything left. I guess they could be logged off trying to, save a bit of time for tomorrow. Anyway, let's move on to Mob. Mob have got this lovely carrier with these tank-like vehicles on the back here. These look like a classic tank. They've got a turret on the top, Gatling gun at the front, so a nice combo of both AI and human-made firepower, as well as an extra turret on the rear for anti-aircraft purposes. We've also got an event drop here as well. So one of the Nomad crates with some nice little bugs there on the side. It's a cool little crate design, that. Coming around the side of that, though, there's another bug over there. What's going on underneath that? I really like this crate. I don't know why. It's just a fun little crate design, isn't it? Moving on, we've got a bit of firepower up there. And then around the front, we've got the main bridge area. A very centralized cockpit with lots of empty space around it. As we work our way through the inner workings, you can see this is quite a nice interior layout that takes us back on the upper deck, where we've got a few utility ships and a bit more firepower around this side. So this is a very functional vehicle indeed. It's got a great shape to it, though. You can see that they've got the wind turbines spinning up at the top, trying to generate them some power. And then they've got the classic bug-like wheel setup down below. But notice that this axle isn't reinforced by blast door blocks that could prove a problem when it's traveling at high speeds, but I mean the driver could just be more careful. Now to finish things up, we came across this tiny little Rover by Lisby. I believe that's the name, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And in the back here is this really cute, we've got a sink, we've got coffee, we've got a cooker. It's almost like a little mobile caravan. It'd be interesting to see exactly how the player utilizes this. So the coffee's over here. Is this like a little go-between trading vehicle? You know, how is it utilized? It's really beautiful though. It reminds me of one of them little Russian scud trucks. Inside here, of course, all the refineries, cargo and assemblers that are going on in there. And then you've got the cab section here with a ladder mounted on the side. That means you could always pop that ladder off, I guess, and use it to get up on top of the truck if needed. And you've got the little cockpits tucked in the side here, so you can access them and look out through the window. So a real beautiful little grid gone wild, you could say, to finish things up. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the server tour. Let us know in the description or the comment section below, which of these mobile bases you like the most.